still the same.
Okay.
It is the same Anand Sheela. No difference, with or without prison.
So how's life like changed? Do you think that there are things which could have done be better before, and now like the track is somewhere on?
No, things were perfect as they were. If people did not understand the love, devotion, conviction, that is their problem. It is not my problem.
Okay, so like you were near to 16 when you first saw Osho, or you like got to communicate with him the first time?
Of course, of course.
With your like I have seen that picture of you being on his lap. So that was the first meeting, no? And when you turned,
First, second meeting, every time I see this picture myself, it is a meeting again.
okay,
Even today, it was a rare moment. That much I can tell you.
you sure? Because like there's some emotions which where the mind is not present, so it's always
Right.
raw. And when you turned 18, you went to US for your college, and then you came back India with Silverman, because you had that idea of spiritual expedition, which you wanted to uh, be in an experience with like Rajneesh. And then I've seen a video of yours like saying that a lady has built a whole new city in America, and they are busy talking about tough kitties. So revolutions happen in the mind first and then on the ground. So where did this idea of Rajneeshpuram came to you? And did you have any preconceived notion about Osho being such to getting to such a big stage?
No, I have no notion of that at all. It was not my idea to build city. It was Bhagwan's idea.
Okay.
And it was Bhagwan's dream. I became a participant in it, which was my good fortune. And I was able to fathom the depth of his dream. And therefore, I was able to translate it in creating the city.
Because I feel that if he would have lived a much more, like Osho would have been a new religion of our times. And
He's already a new thinker,
he is.
new way of life. We don't want to destroy him by calling him a religion.
Mhm.
And that was not his preference either.
But I've said him saying that if the world doesn't meet a man like Mahavir or Buddha, in the next 100 years, the world will sink into a very deep darkness. So,
Well, we meet every day, Buddhas, and we sink every day. We just have to learn to swim out of this sinking.
I'm getting your point, but still that religion thing.
The religion thing is a proxy.
Okay.
Religion thing is to sort of like to promote a product. But true essence of Bhagwan is all thoughts, all teachings from everyone. Highly respected, highly analyzed, highly spoke about by himself. And for me, one is not better than the other. It is all different methods. Bhagwan offers them the choice of different methods, different values. You choose what suits you, what you like.
Perfectly. Okay, like till the time he was in India, he like his discourses went in some other way, and when he went to America, the discourses went in some other way, because I see him as two different personalities. The one which was I can call him Rajneesh when he was in India, and then he became Osho. So I see that there is some contradiction in thoughts when he went to America. The root was same, the essence was same, but the way of telling, I think, it was much more radicalized when he went to America. So, ma'am, I would like to ask you that a lot of people say that you were the one who primarily helped him to get there. Your a husband helped him to get a 65,000 acre land in Oregon, and then they established a whole new city over there. So is it true?
Well, let me say a couple of things.
Mm-hmm.
When Bhagwan left India to go to America, let's say, he was Bhagwan Rajneesh. When he returned back and started to rebuild it, then he became Osho. And to me, Bhagwan Rajneesh was the one that I met. That was the one that gave me the strength, courage to take this mama job of creating a space for his community. Bhagwan went to America. Okay, it was my suggestion, and he accepted it. But his choice would have been probably even today, India, where he comes from. But at that time, Indian government, the politics did not allow him to create his own community. It was time of emergency of Indira Gandhi. And no one could buy land or buy properties.
Yes.
So we were caught in that political event. And we had no choice. And in a right moment, right way, I said to him, would you not like to go to America? And he said, yes, you arrange it. I suggested it. It was my responsibility to organize. And that's how it happened.
But when you came primarily to India, was it a spiritual pursuit of yours?
No, not at all. I came primarily back to India to meet my parents.
Okay. And now the social media has changed the whole story about it.
Yeah.
I see that happening. And when Osho went to America, there was a whole what do you call it, like an enlightenment American selling sentence. Like it was just a selling word, enlightenment, and people were so coerced by this word that he had made a whole town out of such a single, what do you call it, a hoax or something else. But where do you see this word enlightenment working out? Was it just a selling sentence, a selling word, or do you think that there was something emotional, something deep in that man which resonated with that word?
The word enlightenment does not make the man that he was. It was the presentation. And when you present something, you lose some of the qualities of the thing that you are presenting, because words are not so bright and wide.
Hmm.
He was selling enlightenment because people were ready to buy it. It was a time of intellectuals fed up of normal average religions and their philosophies. And Bhagwan was offering the same religions in a new light, in a new dimension, with new focus, new words. People fell in love with it.
They did.
And they're still in love with it,
They are.
with him, rightly so.
Because very presence
the
was very
man,
electrifying.
the man himself was so beautiful, so remarkable, so intelligent. And his intelligence is not compatible. I have not come across in my 73 years another Bhagwan. People can copy him, people can read his books, but that essence, that sophistication, that fineness of analysis, I have not seen it.
Very true, ma'am. And I think will continue to be such a figure for the coming centuries. And people say often that he is a man ahead of centuries. Like, but I still think that in a lot of his dialogues and conversations, there are a lot of lies which are involved. And as you say that people were ready to buy it, and I think the same. But was it right to sell people in name of such spirituality?
Is it right to turn world into digital? Is it right that only young generation is compatible with digital and us old people? Has digital world thought about us old people? How we have to deal with it, how we have to work with it. It is not easy. Think of people who are 80 years old. Now all the banks are with internet banking. Some of the people don't have internet. Some of the people don't understand it. What is the solution from digital world for those people? And there is a large population, 30–40% of the population, who doesn't understand or does not have capability to deal with it. Now, I want to see a digital genius who figures out for these old people. It is the same. People are ready to buy, you sell it. It doesn't matter that world is being isolated through digital world. And for mental health, it is so important to integrate people, not isolate. Inclusion is so important. And what happens now? The youngsters don't want to include the adults. Adults don't have the energy, the strength to fight with the youngster. Or say, please allow me, it is my given right to be among you. We have brought you in the world. We want to be included.
Getting it, ma'am. And like after all of this has happened, uh, people like you have as an individual been a very complex, polarizing figure. There are a lot of people who love you, who admire you, and then there's a whole race which criticizes you. So how do you pave your way, and like what do you think about the public then? Both the people who admire you and those who criticize
They both are on their own trip.
you.
It's not me. If they are positive, they like me. If they are negative, they criticize me. And often criticisms are derived from negative feelings. And positivity, the positive is more connected with love and affection. So it is their choice. I cannot take it personally.
And the admiration?
Admiration, it is again their perspective of me.
Getting it.
Somewhere I touch them in heart and they admire.
And it does. It does feel like that.
Yeah.
When I see at the youth of this country, like moving out of a country and then going to America, they tell us that it's a very liberal land. And I've never seen such a perspective in our country that people are so open. And I feel like that, but still, why, if they were so liberal, so radical, so unracist, that they decided to switch upon the ways and send a man which was trying to make peace in the country back to where he came from? And I see like journalists pestering you. Then you have no other way by announcing them with your memes. Have you seen them? They are very famous clippings of journalists interviewing you, and they've become much famous.
It is said, when we went there, I had certain respect for American Constitution. But after what happened to Bhagwan and his community, including me, my idea of American Constitution and its worship has been less than a toilet paper.
Okay.
Not because the Constitution is wrong, but people who interpret it, people who follow it, have not understood it, and they have the same corrupt mentality as rest of the world. So I lost my respect. And after 40 years, I see the debacle of Constitution in US government now. The whole Republican Party should be shamed. What they are doing to a wonderful document that was created by forefathers. It's absolute debacle. It's absolutely shameful for American politicians.
So the Americans were fearful of Osho. Do you think that uh, he could have bought the whole country under his den if he would have got more time?
That would be wonderful.
It would
Why
have been.
not? At least he was capable of ruling it
Hmm.
single-handedly. Why not?
And you could have been the queen if they would have.
I was queen before that.
You were. You were.
It doesn't change anything.
They're just perspectives, as you say. People are having their own fantasies which are going on. So,
Right.
like, how have times shifted? Like, now when I see you're working with two nursing homes in Switzerland, very beautiful, like,
And one
place.
in Mauritius.
And you are in Mauritius right now.
Right.
And how is it working like right now?
Good, same. They are functioning, my Swiss homes are functioning for last 34 years. Mauritius home is 7 years functioning.
Mhm.
It has a good foundation, good concept.
And like, what was
And
something which made you bring to building these nursing homes?
it was my parents.
Hmm. You even named.
My parents were getting old. I wanted to be back on my feet
Hmm.
after prison. And I was worried about my parents' old age.
Okay.
And then I say to myself, you would not put them to a nursing home and complain about it. It's not good, or this is not good,
Hmm.
and blame others. Then create your own where you are creating home for your parents. That means universally, all parents will have the same standard as my parents.
It's such a radical thought, and if we keep bringing out your thoughts like this, I think you yourself could make a whole card.
Well, I will have to live in one of them too. Now I am old enough.
But still, mom, you have a whole like a group of youth, a whole branch of youth going on. Not even in like in a country of ours, but in abroad too, like in Brazil, Italy. I think people are very much awakened about. Even after that wild country, people have got much more insight. But I think that the documentary has not done much justice to you. And do you think that thought coming out to be true?
I think it backfired, the documentary,
Yes, it did.
on the filmmakers. And existence has its own way to bring its own balance.
Hmm. So where did this balance come from?
The balance comes from people saw the hard work, devotion,
Hmm.
um, fearlessness, and we did work very hard. The raw footage cannot lie,
It cannot.
and documentary had presented the raw footage. That was their mistake.
Hmm.
Then it would not have backfired if they didn't present it.
Yes, completely, ma'am. And like, I am just looking now at the last into perspectives, your personal perspectives, because that's something much more important than all the stories going, because that is something from where real wisdom comes out. After living such a great life. I would call it a very great life. You have lived in solitude 39 months, complete retrospection, introspection. A lot of things have happened, and now you're here after 72 years. So, if I would like to call you for giving some perspectives on something like love, what would they be?
There is nothing else bigger than love.
Okay.
Love unconditionally, without expectation, is top of the line.
Hmm. And the freedom which you have like enriched in yourself personally, which I see that you're very bold. And I love that thing of yours that you are bold and you speak like sharp, uh, like just piercing in the way, and you're not afraid of anything. And in one of the interviews, I've even seen you talking that if even death comes to you, you're not afraid of it. And you told me like when you were 16, that experience made you think like if even at this moment death comes to me, it's completely fine. So you are fearless from the age of 16, I would say.
And I have to say big thank you to my parents, because
Okay.
they made us that fearless. We were not afraid of our parents.
Oh.
We could speak with them about anything, any subject. And if they disagreed, still they gave us choice. And we were 6 siblings and we are all outspoken.
Hmm. And it's such a boon if your parents like give you that freedom of
Yeah,
letting you speak.
right,
And I think it was also same for Osho's maternal grandparents, that they gave him the freedom to become what he liked to be and made him such a
right.
rational guy. So the early childhood days like bring you to such a point where you could attain your freedom. And like anything else you would like to share, any book recommendations you would like to give, any movie recommendations you would like to give, pure recommendations.
Well, only thing I would say, be yourself.
Hmm.
When you are being yourself, you will learn faster because you'll make many mistakes on the way. And mistakes are the biggest teacher.
Yeah. So when you look back,
So,
do you think you have made some mistakes and you want to correct them?
no, the moment you recognize,
Hmm.
it's corrected.
Okay. Such a fine
It's an
perspective.
automatic process.
Okay, like that was such an enlightening perspective to end with. Like, I
Yeah.
would really like, uh, I'm very indebted that you came to our interview panel, and it was very like lovely talking to you about all your like anecdotes and learnings. And really, thank you again for coming up here and sharing your knowledge.